Sixth graders. This is Mrs. Henry, and I am so excited to bring you your first lesson in art online. I do miss you, and I wish we were together. It's so much easier, but this is challenging me to learn a new way of teaching, and I've already recorded this whole lesson and found out it wasn't recording. So I'm doing it again, and that just means that it'll be better each time. So anyway, I wanted to get started. Ooh, I have quite an apparatus here to hold my phone. I wanted to just go back and review just what we were doing and get just a refresher about what our project is that we're doing right now. And that is, let me see, we're modernizing a game. Okay, it's our Unit 2. And our key concept is change. Our related concepts are innovation and composition. Our global context is personal and cultural expression. And our statement of inquiry is innovation and composition can change art. And as I look through all these games, and I've been researching these ancient games, they're quite artistic in the way that they're created, and just the designs are amazing. I want to show you the game that I chose, and it's called Tigers and Goats, and this is the game, and it is made of slate and little pieces made of like metal of some sort. And it's called Tigers and Goats. So 4 tigers, 20 goats. And the object of the game is either the goats surround the tigers so they can't get them, or the tigers eat the goats. And sorry for the jiggly camera work here. I'm trying to, oh, there we go. And basically, look at these beautiful designs. These are Nepalese designs. This board, the actual play board, is a design that has been used in lots of games. So this is this idea of moving along the straight lines. That's not new. I've seen it in other games as I've done my research. What you could start by doing once you've chosen your game, and you all have chosen your game, unless you have decided to change. So I just want to put this up visually so you can see it. Let me just, it'd be easier if I held it, I think, right now. Okay, so basically the first part is your research, and you could be doing that now. You're doing your the name of your game, what you've decided. Remember, it needs to be an ancient game, and we talked about that, at least 1,000 years old. Where your game has been found, and the time period, the rules of the game. Make sure you really understand the rules of the game, because you're not going to be able to change rules or modify them if you don't know how the original game is played. Okay, so, and maybe that game has changed over time. So that's something you want to consider when you're researching. This is the information you need to know to move on. So you're going to, that's your part 1. Let's look at part 2, and then I'm going to show you my plan. Part 2 is the creating part, okay? But part of creating, the art cycle is we have to plan. And that's really important in this step, is the planning. So the first thing is making the plan to recreate the game. Okay, that's even though that's a step, that takes a lot. There's a lot in there. So now I'm going to show you my plan. You're going to sketch out your ideas, and you want to consider 2 different things. You want to consider, one, you need to change the look of it. So you want to consider the size of your game, the materials that it's made of, the design, the colors. What are you going to recreate this game out of? Is it going to be a piece of wood? Is it going to be cardboard, clay? So lots of different options. The other thing you want to consider is changing the actual game, the rule, something to make it more interesting, more challenging, maybe, updating a rule to make it just more fun and interesting. And so that's like this game, my game, the one that I have, it's a very simple game, but I can see lots of options of how I can change the look and also change the rules of the game. So that is part 2. Let me show you my plan just to give you an idea. Okay, so this is my plan. I sketched out on a big piece of paper. Let's just go over. Now you can see that my game board, it is square, but it's on a round board. I decided I really like the square board, the more geometrical shape. So I have not only a square, but then another square border around it. Okay, now I have here the size that I did, which is 21 centimeters square. So I had to use a ruler and make sure I had a proper square. I had some ideas maybe of my border design. I'm seeing a shadow. Sorry about that. I might Zentangle, do some designs around the edges. I might do some, I was thinking of these lines being kind of like planks of wood and then putting a water background. Kind of, it looks like it's standing over water. So, and it kind of tells you that that's where you have to move is along the water, along the plank, so you don't fall in. And then, so I had, the background water lines. Then I did a little brainstorm here of some Asian designs that I wanted to put on there. What kinds of things could I put on the edges? And so I had a little brainstorming over there, like bamboo and lotus flower, pagoda. These are things that you would see in some Asian designs. That's what I want to do, put some Asian designs. Then here, kind of, I was thinking about the pieces, right? I need 4 tigers, I need 20 goats, and I was thinking, okay, I might do discs, maybe discs out of clay or wood or paper. So, and how would I make the difference between tigers and goats? I was even thinking, making it look like tiger skin, and then a goat. I was thinking of the kind of the beard, like kind of on a goat. I could push that into clay, or I could draw it, or I was even thinking, oh, maybe I can print out faces of a goat, and then go ahead and put them on wood discs or on paper. I was even looking at the size of my discs, what they had to be as I move them around the board. I didn't want them to be too big. They would bump into each other, but also big enough that you can tell the difference between the pieces. So this is my plan. This is something that you would put inside of your process journal, because this shows me your thinking. And there's a lot of thinking on this page. This was about an hour of brainstorming and creating. I'm still thinking of what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna make this, print it on my computer and then print it out in color and laminate it and then make the pieces. I'm not sure. There's lots of options. I could paint it, but this is just where I'm coming. And this might take you a couple weeks. So although I'm giving you this long video now, I'm expecting you to be working on this, when you have time in between your other lessons. And I would like for you to, as a formative assessment, every Friday, I don't know how long we're going to be doing these online classes, but for every Friday, just get in the habit of updating me. Either send me an update via my email, or you can WeChat me. There's my WeChat, and you can send it through your teacher or whatever, and they'll forward it to me. but I would like to know how you're doing so that I can give you some feedback and give you, if you have questions, if you want to know how to do something, or if you think this will work, I'd be happy to give you feedback. I'm not even opposed if you wanted to call me. That's fine as well. So let me know if you want that. I know this is quite a lengthy video, but it is going to show you everything you need to do. So here's part 1 again, and part 2. I'll get better at these videos. Thanks for being patient, and I hope you're keeping yourself busy and learning, because that's really, really important that you don't let your brain go to mush during this time. So anyway, I miss you guys, and let me know how I can help. Bye.